can click. You know, I should probably just start clickbaking.
Clickbaking.
Clickbaiting all of these watched together.
I will bake these clips.
That's a perfect clickbait.
Oh, you'll never know how this person clickbaits all this clickbaits. Wait, shit, no.
This man baked his clicks. You won't believe what happens next.
Yeah.
I'm done making.
Doctors
I'm
hate
done. Doctors hate this guy, and I'm done making jokes. I'm eventually gonna have a slip of the tongue. I think I already did.
It's okay. It's okay. It's not like it was recorded or anything.
No.
It was, wasn't it?
Not yet.
Stream is good to go.
Good. Hopefully it was good to go a minute ago.
In that case, I'm going to drop out.
So-
Bye-bye.
Oh, okay. Oh, he's not even going to stay to listen? What a
Oh, you're not
nerd.
even gonna stay to listen. What a nerd.
So, when is this taking place? Is this before or after the spooky session?
So this is after the spooky session. It's literally like during that same week. And pretty much after all the spooky stuff happened, Lily fucked off back to her town.
Because I was going to say, I haven't edited the spooky session yet, so technically I could put this before it, if it was chronologically.
Technically, it would happen. It would happen the day after.
Okay.
So you would post the spooky session first, and then this would come up next.
Okie dokie.
It would go this. It would go spooky session, this, and then last week's session.
Alright. Good. Good to go.
Alright.
Ready, set, go.
Alright. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another one of these awful solo sessions for the Huoshan Hunters Guild. I don't know what I'm doing anymore with my life.
What was the problem with the last one?
Everything. Problem with the last one is that I got too big for my britches and planned everything ahead and expected everything to actually go right the next week, which it didn't. So, basically, to explain to everyone, this is going to be Flame Lily's solo session. She is going to be doing something very important to her story, while I do everything in my power to ruin it. Anyways, to set up the session, Lily, you were not here. You were not here for the spooky session, correct? Because you were off doing real people stuff like a nerd.
I was off at some douchebag's birthday.
Yeah, I know, right?
I don't know who that douchebag is.
I don't know who he is either. Anyways, basically what happened was, you were in your town with Lucas, and all of a sudden, the dead had begun to come to life. Skeletons and other forms of undead that you didn't see because I was fucking lazy. Showed up and started running amok.
So what you're saying is exactly what I was trying to do happened.
Except that they're all bad guys.
Oh no!
Oh no! It's not good people. It's bad people. Bad.
They're all
people.
They're all evil alignments.
Yeah.
I wonder who else is going to be that soon.
Anyways, and then another skeleton popped up in your own house. However, he was a good guy skeleton. Introduced himself as Jersey, and he totally wasn't Sans.
Don't worry.
Anyways, with Lucas's help, he and Jersey were able to temporarily beat back the skeletons long enough for the three of you to escape. as you went to Huoshan to warn everyone that an army of skeletons was heading this way, and someone made an Army of Darkness joke, and I died inside. Anyways, the entire city prepared for a battle with the skeletons, and then Jack had a wonderful idea. Is that to beat the skeletons, he had to outdance the skeletons.
I believe I've heard about that. Yes.
Yes, and he and a skeleton general had a massive dance-off, and eventually Jack, with the help of the entire party, managed to outdance the skeleton army.
And the skeleton army said, "Let's get the hell out of here."
Oh, they were backing up, and then then the herd of heaven showed up, and everything was ruined.
Yeah, that's because those holy
Because
bastards ruin everything.
They don't have fun. They don't know fun.
Yeah.
They basically wiped out the entire skeleton army and informed Han and the party that apparently this was the cause of a lich. Herd of Heaven went on, and Han gave you the option to aid them. Ultimately, the party decided not to fight the lich, which put a kibosh on everything else I had planned for that session. So you all went back to.
There's a lich.
Went back. Apparently, there was a lich.
I didn't hear anything about this.
Yes, supposedly
Sounds
there was
like somebody should be a little more specific to things.
Yeah, probably should.
Prosper.
Yeah, no. Yes, there was a lich, but ultimately the party decided that the Herd of Heaven's got this, so they're not gonna fight the lich. So they all went back to Huoshan to just chill and party and drink. I suppose after this, would you have gone back to your home?
Yeah.
Okay. So as you're returning, you see the Herd of Heaven passing through your town and just pretty much going from one end to the other end and just moving out of view. They took care of what other nasty undead that aren't ghosts or spirits.
And
Anyways,
now I can GTFO.
yep, they're pretty much gone. Sao, the spiritualist who had been purifying ghosts in your town, he is still there, although he seems to have just set up a small little personal like campsite just in the middle of the street. As by the time you're returning on this day, it is getting close to nighttime.
What are you still doing here?
My work isn't finished. There are still many restless spirits that must be taken care of.
Is that so?
This. He just kind of just. He looks like he's about to say something, but he just doesn't say anything. Because of this, of what happened, the spirits are getting even more restless. You gonna say something?
Oh. Well, just remember the deal.
Of course. I have much more. Let me retract that. He nods and goes, "Of course. There are much more dangerous spirits here than yours."
Well, I suppose that'll bid you adieu for now.
He gives a silent nod.
Okay.
Goes back to cooking some kind of soup.
Lily goes back to her house.
Alright. So are you going to continue your work, or are you going to sleep? It is... The sun has set. The stars are coming out.
Have I done the work for the day, or have I been gone pretty much the whole
Yes,
day?
you would have gone through most of the work of the day before the skeletons started coming out.
Okay. Then, I'll rest till the next
Alright.
morning.
Alright. During the night, make a perception.
Oh no! Oh, hey.
That's good enough. So as you're sleeping, you suddenly feel your house beginning to rumble. And it continues to get louder and louder, and the shaking becomes even more massive, that it eventually jolts you awake.
Okay, then I investigate it somehow.
Alright, it feels like an earthquake. It just continues to get just bigger and massive, and
Look outside.
you look outside. Yeah, a lot of the more ricketier, less poorer quality of houses begin falling apart just from the quakes.
An earthquake like this near Huoshan probably isn't a good thing.
Eventually, after a couple minutes, the like windows. I don't know if you does your house even have windows?
Yeah.
They
I think
shatter.
we specified one of them.
One of them shatters. I'm gonna.
Okay.
No.
There's at least one.
Yeah.
So the windows shatter?
The windows shatter. A lot of the more loose bits of wood comes undone, but for the most part, your house manages to stay upright.
Okay.
And eventually, everything starts to subside. And finally, it all goes quiet. You hear from downstairs. I assume your room is upstairs. I don't know how
Sure.
you're. Okay, let's go with that.
I didn't think too much about it, besides the fact that it has an attic.
All right. You hear coming from downstairs. Are you all right?
And I'm assuming it's the,
Yeah, it's Sal's voice.
Yeah. You better not have stepped inside.
Only peeking in.
Yeah, I'm fine. Do you know what that was?
I don't know, but it felt like it was coming from near the Faust Mountains.
She, walks downstairs to meet him.
He's standing outside.
Okay. The Faust Mountains?
He nods. This town is still a ways away, but you would be able to see them in the distance. something, an earthquake of this magnitude to reach this far. I don't know what that could mean.
It likely means trouble.
Perhaps. I will try and send a message to colleagues of mine. They're near. I am in league with other spiritualists, as well as the moon deer that populate the vicinity near the mountains.
Moon deer?
I see you do not know about them. The moon deer are like the reindeer. However, they are a group of reindeer who left the tundra many years ago. They do not have any affinity for ice like the normal reindeer do. They mostly populate themselves near gateways between this world and the dreamscape.
The dreamscape? You mean the dreamlands?
He nods. Everyone has a different term for it. Dreamlands, dreamscape, the dimension of dreams. It all leads to the same place.
So, you're saying that that mountain holds a portal?
One. I've only been in there once. It leads to a terrible place. A place called Nath.
Well, perhaps I'll investigate one day.
Well, I suppose I'll have to put, he looks around, my duties here on hold. Something of this magnitude has to take precedence over my current duties.
You can go do that. It'll be nice to get you out of my hair for a while.
Well, just be careful. There may be aftershocks. But I can't be certain.
Well, you know, I'm a wizard, so I can repair any damage.
He gives a nod. Well, in that case, I shall depart. He gives a quiet bow and he turns around.
Okay. So Lily gets to using make whole to fix the damage on the building, and then goes back to work.
All right. So, okay. You work for about. How long will it take for you to create this DAO?
If I recall, it should take 3 days of work.
All right. Well, on the second day.
Yeah, it's 2,300, so it should be almost finished on the end of the second day.
So yeah, you're actually getting very close to completing this when you begin to hear footsteps
So, can I use perception?
Yes.
Which will probably fail horribly, but let's try it anyway.
Alright. You hear the sounds of heavy footsteps coming from downstairs. Seems to just be walking around.
Someone's in my house.
Someone's in your house?
And they don't sound like the other person, right?
It doesn't. It definitely does not sound like an ungulate.
Okay.
You don't hear the sounds of 4 hooves. You hear the sounds of 2 feet.
It's more like stomp stomp, not cloppity clop.
Yeah.
So, I suppose I'll have a fireball handy, and let's see. Do I have any sneak skill? Nah, I just have +4. But let's try sneaking.
Well, you sneak. Okay.
Down the steps.
You're normally trying to be quiet, not being
super sneaky.
Not being super sneaky. You're just being like, all right, let me just walk slow and quietly.
To look at whoever's down here.
All right. As you make your way down the stairs, you can already see the person, whoever is in your house. His back is turned away from you. However, you notice that his headdress has the same motif as Nyarlathotep. And the first thing that comes to your mind is that this is Nyarlathotep.
Yes. So, I fire.
Alright. Let me...
See, that's like 76 if he fails, right?
Yep. Well, it's 76 regardless.
Yeah.
I need to find my dice. Where is my dice? Here is my dice. It is behind my laptop. Okay, I need to delete the plus 33 to his AC.
It's not even targeting AC, so.
Yeah, I know. I still needed to get rid of it because, yeah. Shit. Did, has Jake been... No, I didn't give Jake my sheet yet. Hey, he's gonna make his reflex save. He actually has a... His reflex is actually one of his bad rolls. What's the DC?
Give me just a second. 18.
Alright, he actually failed.
So I guess burned for 26 damage.
Catch him off guard as the fireball blasts him square in the back. You see his body lurch forward as if he's hit, but he makes no sound.
And we also see the entire lower floor get combusted into fire.
It's okay. Well, it's okay. Fireball doesn't actually burn. Anyways, he's hit by it, but he's still standing. He eventually turns around and looks at you. That wasn't very nice. Do you throw fireballs at everyone?
Only those who threaten to kill me and cause all my problems.
He turns around and he looks nothing like Nyarlathotep. The only difference between him and the Crawling Chaos, they both share an Egyptian motif. However, his armor is a crimson red, and his skin has very vibrant color to it. A nice light tan to his skin.
So, are you gonna tell me why your master sent you?
If you know who my master was, you wouldn't have thrown that fireball at me. So I assume you must
See the Black
mistake me.
Pharaoh?
Absolutely not. She is not.
Right. And why exactly should I believe you?
You do not recognize me. That's unfortunate. How many years has it been since the first Predator War?
The first Predator War?
Yes.
The last Predator War was, besides the one currently going on, was at least 1,000 years ago.
It's been quite some time, I see. I'm not surprised no one would recognize me in this era. I am the Crimson King. I am one of Faust's champions.
The Prophet?
He shakes his head. Not the prophet. The god of this world. The one who created this world from nothing.
Hmm. Okay. Well, I asked you once under improper context, and I'll ask you again. Why are you here?
I sensed dark magic coming from this town. Restless spirits. And a lingering trace of the crawling chaos. Now I see that lingering trace comes from you. You have come into contact with Nyarlathotep recently, have you not?
In the Dreamlands, yes. That was less than a week ago.
I see. He is silent. Anyways, he looks up. And the dark magic.
That would be my doing.
Can you explain?
I can try to explain. This house used to be my home. I had a family. They were butchered. And I'm trying to bring one back.
I see. You have all three parts of her soul?
Hearts?
You're trying to bring someone back. You do not even know how to collect one's soul. I see. He looks back up at you. When a person dies, after a long enough time, their soul is fragmented into three parts. He pauses. Well, I should say spirit, perhaps. The body, the mind, and the soul. To bring someone back from the dead, you need all three parts.
The body?
Yes. The body. He points to his own, points to you. The
How would
mind.
the body be part of a soul?
Yeah. I really should have fucking read up on the fucking Giselle mythos before reading it, before doing this shit. The body. God damn it, why do you gotta ask questions? Uh, imagine I actually don't know how to explain this. IRL, I actually don't know how to explain this because I can imagine in game he's also just like, shit. But he just goes, that's not important. What is important are the other two parts, the mind and the soul. The mind contains the memories of everything that person experienced before their death. However, the soul, emotions, joy, fear, anger, hatred, all those comprise the soul, their true being.
I see. So then, what is an undead made of?
It depends. Undead, like the zombies, are comprised of the body. Ghosts, certain ghosts, can be made up of either the mind or the soul. Certain ghosts are created from their memories, lingering traces that do not want to move on.
I understand. So, you're saying that in order to do what I need, I'll need to get either the mind or the soul, as well as what I already have.
He nods. The body is, well, it is a house, let us say. The body is used to draw the two halves back in. The spirit needs something familiar, something they can recognize. There you go, I just fucking explained it. There you go, I'm the fucking best.
Woohoo! Well, that sounds like the body is replaceable then.
It can be. But the mind and the soul are irreplaceable. One cannot function without the other.
So, in other words, all my work has been for nothing.
If you only had one half, say you had the memories, but not the soul that contains the true self, you would only bring back memories. He looks contemplating. I could help you.
You could?
I could. If I were to know that your cause is just, you're not bringing back an evil spirit.
Evil? I wouldn't bring back something evil.
He reaches into his pouch and he pulls out a potion. You can knowledge Arcana if you wish, or spellcraft.
Okay. Give me just a second.
Alright, it is a potion of share memory. He walks up to you and he hands it to you, and he simply just goes, "Show me."
Lily drinks it.
Alright. You see your hand, one of your hooves beginning to glow, and basically what's happening is the Crimson King showed up and he's trying to convince Lily to help him get his sister back, essentially. Anyways, Anyways, one of your hooves begins to glow after you drink the potion, and the Crimson King extends his hand. Place your hoof under my hand, and I will be able to see
She
your
does so.
memories. Alright. Pretty much just explain your memories with your sister.
Okay.
Pretty much
So-
this is what you and the Crimson King will be saying.
Okay. So, Lily remembers her sister is happy and innocent, and that she didn't have a whole lot of time to spend with her because of the military college and all the other stuff. And then eventually helping out the hunters. But then she remembers the attack where she came to defend the city, but she was too late, and pretty much everyone died by the time they got there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does Lily know how her sister died? Like exact details?
She remembers seeing. Let's say she remembers seeing the body. Gutted.
Okay. Eventually, the memory will end.
And
Crimson King is just.
but then there's also the undead.
Oh shit.
The attic whisperer. She remembers that too.
Do you show getting the attic whisperer into the soul gem?
Sure.
Okay. So with all that, unless there's anything else you want to add, the memory will end.
Okay.
And the Crimson King retracts his hand and looks down at you. I see. Your sister has met a tragic fate, and you wish to reverse it.
Yes.
Very well. If you will permit me, I shall help you.
Anything.
Then I shall do one more thing. He pulls out another one of the shared memory potions, and you see him turn away, removing his. He has a golden plate as part of his headdress carved his face. You see him turn away, remove it, and then quickly drink the potion before putting it back on. He turns back around and nicks his hand, which is beginning to glow. This, if you have any more doubts about my identity, this will put an end to it.
Lily hesitates a little bit and touches it.
Alright, as you touch his hand, immediately you are just in a battlefield. There are hundreds upon hundreds of ancient-looking ungulates and longma who look more like unicorns with scales than they currently do. You see 5 other champions. Let me... Because I actually wrote them out. Give me a second. So the first thing you see is an alpaca running in to battle some predators who are just completely black and shadow-like. And you see him like go from an alpaca, suddenly transforming into a massive just to a massive beast, and just swipes a couple of them away. You see, I do not believe I have ever described him. You see a golden longma, looking ancient, like the way I described them before. He just comes in. He's a golden longma with this golden flames coming in, and he just, with just expert strikes, is just blowing and knocking out predators left and right. And then you do, in fact, see the Crimson King appear, and he just raises up his hands, and then out from these small little gates, these constructs of metal and fire come out, and they just start laying waste to predators. Eventually, you hear a voice, a womanly voice. You hear her say, "King." Descending from the skies is a woman. Her face is blurred out by pure light.
Copyright.
Shut up. But she is wearing a long, elegant white dress. And she asks him, "How goes the effort?" And then the Crimson King replies, "We are beating them back. However, every day that passes, Shangri-La sends out more of these monsters." We are losing more allies than we are killing the enemy. And she's just like, she's silent, and she goes, "I see." The Crimson King eventually speaks up. "What are you planning, my lady?" There is no reply as she disappears in a burst of radiant light. And that's when the memory ends. Eventually, the Crimson King lowers his hands.
Well, I think that proves it.
He silently nods. And then you see him pull out a staff. You have seen this staff before. It's different, but it resembles a similar staff to what Samson holds. Actually, he points it forward, and he opens up a gate. "First, I must return to my kingdom. I must return to High Reach, so I may figure out where your sister is in the afterlife."
I understand.
You can come with, if you so wish.
What is High Reach like?
It is a desert city built in one of the seven provinces of Ulagor in the plain of the Abyss. It is a safe haven and one of the most treacherous and terrifying plains.
I suppose.
All right, you step through the gate with him, and you find yourself on a rocky plateau looking out at a desert. The sky is black, no stars. However, looking outwards, you can see well into the distance. The sky of this plain does not normally look like this. Welcome to High Reach. You look out and there's a lot of homes made out of stone. There seems to be a lot of people just working, tending to farms.
So, how similar does it look to Lane, then?
What's up?
How similar does it look to Lane?
To Lang? It is, well, for starters, it's not cold.
Well, I got that part.
Well, for the most part, it actually does kind of look similar. It's a very deserty area, but there actually does seem to be a lot of in the distance. There's like a clear river, vegetation. Like there's life in this place.
I more have meant the buildings, but yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's the same. They're very ancient. They look thousands of years old.
Okay.
Anyways, the Crimson King turns around and he walks into his into this very massive, elaborate castle.
Yay! So,
There
lovely
are
fellows.
a lot of creatures you do not recognize just around and about. Like you're practically looking at aliens.
Yeah.
Also out of the game. This is you're actually in my Saturday game world, so I'm just this is fucking awesome. Awesome.
Woo!
Eventually, my DM's gonna figure out about this. He's gonna kick me out because I'm stealing all of his ideas. Anyways, the Crimson King will leads you up into this massive room where there's just a lot of scrying stuff.
What's up with the recent obsession with scrying?
I'm sorry.
The, Huoshan also does scrying a lot recently.
It is a useful magical tool.
It's a tool of the paranoid. Not that I don't fit in that, but I haven't tried scrying yet.
You will learn that if there is something you need to find, this is quite a useful way to find it. And we are looking for your sister.
True.
Anyways, he sits in front of one of the scrying devices, you see him pour water into a little bowl. You see his hands beginning to glow with this golden energy. Eventually, your sister comes into focus. And she is just looking miserable. Just sitting there, motionless, just in a field of endless bones. Bones and graves as far as anyone can see. Eventually, the Crimson King lets out a sigh.
Lotus!
This makes things complicated.
Where is she? What's been done to her?
She is in the boneyard, where all spirits go, where they await their final judgment, to be judged into heaven, to hell, or, well, some just do not get judged. He stands up. Getting in will be simple. Getting out with her, that will be the challenge. For Rasma will not take kindly to us stealing from her realm.
Well, I'm not giving up, so...
He calls out, "You, get in here." One of the creatures walks in. "What can I do, my lord?" "Prepare me a gate. You'll find my resources in my armory." He gives a nod and he walks out. I will need one more. As confident as I am in my own abilities, battling gods, I have learned that I will need assistance. Do you know anyone who would be able to assist us in this endeavor?
Anyone?
Is it not?
Anyone who can fight a god.
I do not believe. Being specific, we will not fight. We will not fight for Rasma herself. However, there is a chance she can summon undead spirits to try and keep us from our goal.
Huh, I forget what was the name of the unicorn.
Unicorn? Sal?
Yeah. So, I believe I know someone who has seemed quite obsessive with making restless spirits not restless. He may know how to fight the undead.
What is his name?
So,
He goes back to the scrying, pours the water in, and after a couple minutes, yes, this one. I passed by him. he has one of those phantoms. I've seen these ones before. A long time ago. Wait here. I will go fetch him. But he does move close to you, and he goes, "Don't stray." It's for your own good. And after a moment, he channels another one of those gates, and he goes through.